Today I'm a bit late. I'm sorry. I was stuck in traffic and I had to do a quick drop off. So there's three things I want to talk to you about today. The first thing is copycats, foot baths, and then permission to shine. And that all relates to hope is contagious. So the first thing is copycats. Now, I recently had a experience where one of my events weren't very successful, and it really disheartened me. But that made me reevaluate how you measure success. And I think the important thing is you think it must look like this, and then it ends up being something totally different. Side effect. It's a bit like the penicillin, where you think you want to have a great invention, and then your bread ends up molding, and that's the solution, and that's not something totally different than what you thought. So what I've experienced recently is people telling me, Marthie, you inspire me, and I'm going to do what you do next year. And that's exciting. That is exciting because people are watching and they're learning from the experience, and then they're becoming a copycat. Not a copycat, but and then they evolve into their own space where there's always room, because of you yourself. You fill a space. You're the nose, you're the ears, you're the eyes. So that's important, is to people to learn from good and bad experiences that make you stronger, to ultimately reach a point where you can pass it on. So copycats are very important because they learn to become their own person. And that's the second one I want to talk about. Sometimes you're the one that has to blaze a trail, be the first one to create a foot bath for other people to follow. And I've learned, I have a route that I walk through the woods, and the first time I walked it, I was very scared. I didn't know where I was going. I hope I don't get lost. One time I almost had to climb trees and go through a swamp, and it was it's like, okay, don't go there again. And then I had to try a couple of ways. Some of them I didn't like because there was lots of downhill and I'm scared of falling. And then ultimately I found the perfect route. And now when I do it, I know I can do it in an hour. It used to be an hour and 15 minutes. Every time I do it, it's a bigger road. And I can tell you, along the road, they're building a new hospital and new things. And all of a sudden, this footpath that I didn't know becomes a highway of things happening. And other people also know this route now because I take them on the route with me. So a footpath becomes a regional road, becomes a highway, and that's important. But to make that first step and to discover the unknown is a big thing. And I think that makes you a leader, is to be brave. Yeah. And then the third thing is to give other people permission to shine, and give them to pass on your passion. So the moment you live in your space where you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and the first time it might not look successful, but it's important to pass every milestone, so that you can come around again and end up knowing where you're going and become comfortable with it. That is important, because then you give other people also permission to shine and to live their passion. But if you're scared and you're sitting in your box and there's nowhere else to go, and next year you're still going to be sitting in that same low box, nothing's happened. Is anybody home? That type of thing. You have to move out of the box. If you want a different result, you have to do something different. So yes, that's what it is. Hope is contagious. Be careful. You might just pass it on to somebody else, and in the way of them becoming copycats, blazing a footpath, and then also giving them permission to shine and to pass on the passion. So please subscribe to my channel. People ask me, what are you busy with? Well, actually, I'm busy with nothing. I think my newsletter this week will be about having an empty page. But I do actually have something planned. I have the Woordfeest next year in March, which is going to be a big undertaking, because I'm doing it with two of us who I know very well, and then Stellenbosch United Brothers, who have a very specific sound, to incorporate that into my program. it's going to be interesting. I am looking forward to it. And I want to take all my songs I've written. Some of them are really amazing. And I want to start putting it out as albums and work a lot on music production. Because there's a stage where I have to eat the cake and get it